So if we want to be human beings, and the cool thing with performance is, where do you think performance happens? Does it happen in the future? Does it happen in the past? Or does it happen right now? What do we think? So if you're out in the middle batting, what's the most important thing? What's the most important ball in the game?
Next ball.
This ball. Yeah? Can you control what's going to happen in 20 overs time? No. So we need to be here right now. But how on earth do we do that? So this thing here is a cool little example. So I use this, it's completely evidence-based. I use this in my own life, and it's kind of a method of your body. So it'll bring everything together. Your head might be spinning a touch. But if you think of yourself as a sailboat, right? So the bottom of the boat is all about safety. We all want safety. Tom wants safety, Brady wants safety. We all want to feel secure, right? The top part of the boat is about growth and exploration. We want to achieve dreams. The problem is, so if you think about a sailboat, if there's holes in that boat, and then you try and open the sail, what's going to happen? What happens if there's a hole in a boat? Do you think it's going to sink? Come on, girls. So it's going to sink, isn't it? So the chimp, the negativity bias, our internal factors, and the external factors from the world around us constantly telling you that you're not enough unless you achieve things, causes all these holes in the boat. And we try and patch them up by achieving more, by doing more, by thinking we need to score 100, or that we need to be perfect on the field. And anytime we make a mistake, it's bad. It's going to cause our boat to sink. But the parts of the boat, and these are human needs, connection and self-esteem. So that's all we're looking for. So if I drilled down eventually, why do you want to do well at cricket? Why? Well, why do you want to, okay, I want to make runs, it's fun. Okay, well, why do you want to make runs? Why do you want to play for the state? Eventually it's going to come down to wanting to feel good about yourself and want to be able to connect with each other. And that's normal. That's completely normal. I'm not going to stand here and say you shouldn't want to feel good about yourself. Of course you do. The problem is we've got connection, the way to connection and the way to self-esteem the wrong way around. So we think our way to having deep connections and being liked by other people is by achieving, by being perfect. I want you to think about your closest relationships, your best friend. What is it about your best friend that you like? Is it the nicknames, that you can laugh about funny things that happened in the past? What about someone that's inspired you? Think about the person that's inspired you the most. Why do they inspire you? Is it because they're perfect at everything? Or is it because maybe they've overcome something? They've had a big setback, they've overcome it to achieve something. So that deep connection only comes from our imperfections. So that deep connection comes from being human. But you have to be courageous enough to show those imperfections, and that's the kicker. So how does this relate to cricket? If you make a mistake on the field, are you able to embrace that, hey, I'm not perfect, but I'm courageous enough to do the work and go again? Or am I going to feel really bad about my imperfections? Because it means I'm never going to be able to connect with others, no one will like me, and it's all going to end badly. Self-esteem, there's two parts. One part's mastery, so the ability to go, that you have the skills to go after your goals. That's where actually doing the training and doing the work is really important. The other part, and something that we can control, which we're going to work on right now, is, are you living in accordance with who you want to be as a person? So what kind of cricketer do you want to be? What kind of human do you want to be? So you can start to feel valuable about yourself by being those things. I want to be a courageous cricketer. I want to be focused. I want to be a hard-working cricketer. I want to be determined. I want to be kind to my teammates. I want to be a compassionate friend. I want to be a diligent student. So what type of person do you want to be, and living in accordance with those values? Does that make sense? Does anyone have any questions on that? Because now we start to live as a human being first. You get to live as young people, as Heather, as Olivia, as Tom, not as Olivia the cricketer. Yeah? Because if you identify yourself as being Olivia the cricketer, if you get your self-esteem from being a cricketer, what happens when you do badly? What happens to your self-esteem? It's pretty tough, isn't it? It's So Reedy, have you had any times when so you've been pretty good from a young age, right? And you mentioned before how people started to overtake you. How did you feel when you saw some of your teammates who you knew you were just as good at overtake you and get into state squads and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah. Shocking.
Yeah.
I felt terrible about myself. And that's always been a battle for me. And then, it's just, it's like, it's a hard one. It really used to eat me up, like in the nets, where everything, like if I wasn't hitting the ball perfect, self-esteem would just drop.
It would just drop.
Then I wouldn't perform as well as I could.
And then what's changed now? Has anything changed?
I've sort of, exactly what you're talking about. I've tried to let go of a lot of things and focus on, I guess, more about who I am and trying to just be happy. I think that's been the biggest thing. And that's taken so much pressure off results and cricket.
So you still got to value yourself on something, right? So so you're going to rock up on Saturday morning. How can you walk away at the end of the day, whether you get a duck or 100, knowing that you're happy with yourself?
I value competing a lot, and you can compete no matter, or be there for your team no matter what, I think. And I value being a good person to others and not judging them, but trying to help them quite a bit, especially a lot of other young players in our change room and that. So if I can do that on a day, any given day, that's a good day. And it takes my own results out.
And is that 100% in your control?
Yeah.
Is making 100% in your control? No, not quite. So what we need to do is, thanks Reedy, that's a fantastic example, is we need to make our boat really strong by things that are 100% in our control and relevant who we want to be. If we make our boat strong by things that are out of our control, we're just going to sink. So we'll start with just one exercise. I want you to think about this weekend, whether you take a fifer, score 100, get a duck, drop 7 catches. What can you value yourself on to make it a successful day? So what can you contribute to the people around you? Or what type of person do you want to be on everyone play on Saturday or Sunday? That is irrelevant of results. So just have a think about that, and I want you to actually write that down. So it's either what type of person do I want to be, and how can I contribute irrelevant of personal results.